Well, it's 2020, and toilet paper has been quite a hot topic this year. In a typical year, toilet paper probably isn't given much thought. Well, until you run out at exactly the wrong time. You might find it interesting that toilet paper is the initial reason that I became interested in the topic I want to talk about today. Over the next few minutes, I'd like to share this big idea with you, that knowing and accepting how you're wired, your personality, is essential to understanding and appreciating others. Well, the year wasn't 2020 when toilet paper and this topic came into view for me. It was approximately 1993 at a middle school classroom in Troy, Ohio. My teacher posed a question to the class that was to teach us about different personalities, and the question went something like this. Let's say you and your family are driving down the interstate. You pull into a rest area, but you come to find out there is no toilet paper. What would you do? She then gave us 4 options and told us to pick the option that best fit our personality. I don't remember all 4 options. It was 27 years ago. But the 2 options I do remember were this. 1, basically, just go with it. Forget the toilet paper, pull up, and go with it. Or 2, find a solution. Look for a supply closet. Call for help on a helpline. This was pre-cell phones. Or basically figure it out. I chose the option that would find a solution. That's typically what I would do. There are a few situations where I might wing it, but not one with no toilet paper. That's gross. The teacher then asked us to go to the 4 corners of the room and be able to talk about why we chose the option we did and choose a spokesperson for our group. I became the spokesperson for my group. While I was standing in that corner, I noticed something. Something about that other group, the one that would pull up and go with it. I liked them better. They were more fun and carefree than serious middle school me. Well, it became my turn to talk for our group, and what did I do? I sold us out. I said, I think I'm in the wrong group. I wasn't. And I said, I personally would do what that other group would do. I wouldn't. Now, perhaps that was some middle school insecurity talking, or more likely, that was me wishing that I was wired differently than I actually am. This was not a one-time incident in my life. Understanding and accepting and not trying to change how I'm wired was a journey for much of my life. Perhaps you can relate. But what if? What if young people could learn to understand and accept how they're wired as early in life as possible? How would that make a difference in how they relate to others and the world and themselves? Well, I think that difference would be substantial, but it does take some knowledge and some work. The philosopher of old, Socrates, had a phrase he often used that was simply, know thyself. And that's a great phrase. There's a lot of wisdom in that phrase because knowledge is a key to unlocking many mysteries. But knowledge of your personality isn't enough. There has to also be acceptance. Abraham Lincoln famously said, a house divided against itself cannot stand. Well, knowing but not accepting how you're wired, your personality, it's like living in a divided house. Well, let's talk about knowledge. There's a vast amount of information on personalities out there today, but I want to talk about 2 that come from the popular Myers-Briggs assessment that if students could learn to find themselves on this continuum, it'd go a long way in helping them understand themselves. The first is extroversion versus introversion. It's a big one, and it really comes down to where you get your energy from. Extroverts or extroversion means your energy comes from the outside in. Extroverts need to be with people and around people. Large groups of people for long periods of time will fill their energy tank, and extroverts are typically more outgoing in personality and demeanor. Introverts or introversion means that your energy comes from the inside and goes out. Introverts refill their energy from solitude. Big groups of people for long periods of time will drain introverts, and they'll need time alone to recharge. A second continuum that the Myers-Briggs assessment gives to us is how we make decisions, decision-making, or how we go about making choices. They put this continuum on thinking versus feeling. On one side of the continuum, thinkers will tend to make decisions based upon logic, reason, verifiable evidence, and data, whereas feelers will tend to make decisions based upon emotions, or how their choices will impact other people. They bring the human element. Now, neither one of these ways of making decisions is wrong, but you'll likely lean towards one or the other naturally. It's how you're wired. Now, there's more information on personalities than we could ever cover in one talk, but you get the idea. There's differences in everyone. So how? How do we go about the journey of understanding and accepting ourselves? understanding. Become an expert in you. Don't neglect learning about yourself as you learn about the rest of the world. Become curious about yourself. Ask questions like, why am I responding this way? Or how am I going about making this decision? Keep a journal of observations about you. Ask your parents, what traits are similar in me from when I was young up until now? And then go online and take all the personality tests, both the scientific ones and the silly ones. The Myers-Briggs assessment, and then learn what breed of dog you're most like. The strength finders, and then be able to find out which character might you be in Harry Potter. Take the Enneagram, and then find your spirit animal. Learn about and become an expert in you. Accepting. Be honest with yourself. One person quipped, "You are unique, just like everybody else." There is no person exactly like you, but there's a lot of people similar to you. You're not alone, and every personality brings value. Find someone similar to you who has impacted our world. Find a unique passion that uniquely fits your wiring and pursue it, while still finding a passion that stretches your comfort zone. Your unique wiring is valuable and useful. Accept it with honesty. And then, when you have understood and accepted how you're wired, you can begin to add the secret sauce, the secret ingredient that makes for fulfilling, not unfrustrating, but fulfilling relationships. Appreciation. Know that your personality will bring value to others and the world. Accepting how you are wired opens the door to you understanding and accepting others and seeing the value in others who are wired differently from you. You'll see the beauty and the need in our diversity. Think about it this way. If you want to see the world through different eyes, you'll likely appreciate an artist who brings beauty through picture or song or poetry. But if you're flying on a commercial airliner, you'll probably appreciate a pilot who makes decisions based on logic, reason, and data. The world, it needs every personality. Nobody's disposable, and everybody can bring value. And when you, as a young person, understand and accept how you're wired, you can then begin to give yourself away in appreciation to others, knowing that they, though different from you, have tremendous value and worth as well. And know this. If you ever find yourself at a rest area and there is no toilet paper, but you're just not comfortable winging it, give me a call. I'll help you find a solution. Thanks.